Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining today. So we continue with the series on Devatas. We've looked at, we wanted to get the blessings first of Shri Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam, Krishna Balaram, Gaunitai, Shri Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. And we wanted to continue with the series on the Devatas. We looked at Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Durga Mata, Ganpati, Indra, Suryadev, Chandradev, Agnidev, Yamraj, Saraswati, Kuver, Gayatri, Vayu, Hanuman on last Thursday. And today we want to look at Kartikeya. So here he is, Kartikeya, and he's sometimes added to the list of 5 important deities: Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti, Ganesh, Surya. These are the main ones that are worshipped. But sometimes, especially in this, worshipped by the Smarta community, making him a 6th focus of worship. And especially in Tamil Nadu, South Bharat, he is regarded very, very important deity. Kartikeya is the commander-in-chief of the demigods, often referred to as the god of war. Kartikeya is the 2nd son of Shiva and Parvati, Umadevi. And his birth, Shiva's first consort was Sati, the daughter of Daksha. Once when visiting heaven, Daksha insulted Shiva before many devatas. Subsequently, Daksha organized a yajna at his home, but neglected to invite Lord Shiva and Sati. Sati went anyway and was insulted. She could not bear this. Sitting down, she meditated on the element of fire and ignited her own body, giving it up. This led to Shiva being very furious, and he and his followers actually devastated Daksha's city, the yajna, killing many of the priests and ministers. Lord Shiva was saddened by the death of Sati and retired to the Himalayas for a life of austerity and penance. Shortly afterwards, a terrible demon called Surapadma, is also called Simhamukha or Tariksur, began to ravage the universe and innocent beings. The Devatas realized that only a son born from Shiva could defeat the demon. They brought forth Parvati, the daughter of the Himalayas, the incarnation of Sati. But Lord Shiva remained absorbed in deep meditation and could not be agitated by Parvati's beauty. So the Devatas wanted them to combine to bring about a son. The demigods then sent Kamadev, Cupid, the god of love, to shoot at Lord Shiva one of his arrows, famous arrows, fabled arrows. Lord Shiva was furious. He opened his 3rd eye, burning Kamadev to ashes. But upon hearing the pleas of Rati, who is the consort of Kamadev, he brought the Devata of love back to life. By this time, Shiva's prolonged meditation was well and truly disturbed. Parvati undertook severe penance to win the Lord of her heart. And Brahma eventually married the divine couple. But even after many years, Parvati did not conceive. The fiery semen of Lord Shiva was so potent that Parvati was scared to receive it. This vital energy was deposited with Agni, the fire god, and later transported by river Ganga into the Saravam forest. Then 6 of the wives, Shiva, Samputi, Priti, Sanati, Anushuya, Shama, of the Saptarishis, and excluded Arunadati, due to her extraordinary virtuous powers. So those 6 wives accepted Shiva's semen and brought up 6 children who were later joined together to become their common son, but with 6 head, Sanmukha. The husbands of the 6 mothers cursed their wives for their infidelity, and they became stars in the sky, the Kritikas in the west, called the Pleiades. Because the Kritikas brought up Sanmukha, he is called Kartikeya. Interesting how he's got his name from Kritikas, Kartikeya. He became the commander-in-chief of the demigods, and he led them to victory against Surapadma and the other demons. Valmiki's Ramayana dedicates chapter 36 and 37 to Skanda. So Skanda is another name of Kartikeya, but describes him as the child of the deities Rudra, Shiva, and Parvati, whose birth is aided by Agni and Kanka. He is considered the ultimate warrior. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita,
Urodasham chamukyam mam vide patabri vihaspate senaninam aham skanda sarasam ashmi sagara. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Of generals, I'm Kartikeya or Skanda, and of bodies of water, I'm the ocean.
Yeah, good. He's also considered the embodiment of Gyan, knowledge. He's depicted as follows. He's got 6 heads, but sometimes 1, usually either 2 or 12 arms. He's always depicted as a youth, Kumar, full of optimism and vigor. Weapon is a spear, sometimes with sword, javelin, mace, discus. Wears a pendant of the shape of the 6-pointed star, like the Star of David. His carrier is a peacock, and his military emblem is the cock. Skanda is often regarded as having 2 consorts who can confer upon his devotees the boon of earthly happiness and heavenly bliss. They're usually considered to be called Vali and Tevanya. However, in Bengali and Orissa, the Bengali and Orissa devotees consider him a lifelong brahmachari, celibate bachelor. So depending on which region you are, whether it's south or east of Bharat, you have different ideas of his family life. So this is an example of Kartikeya, his peacock carrier. He's got a sword, a spear in his hand. He's also known as Skanda, the attacker, Murugan, beauty in you. So often in the north, we will hear, or south, we'll hear him referred to as Murugan. I always wondered, who is Murugan? And somebody would tell me Kartikeya, and I never get my hand around that. Anyway, Subramanya, and that's a very common surname in the south. Shanmukha, one who has 6 faces. Kumar, Ivan, Chevon, the red one. Shentil, Velan, Swaminath, the ruler of the gods. Saranava, Sharavan Bhava, born amongst the Druids. Dandapani, builder of the mace. Guha, cave or secret. Guru Guha, cave teacher. Kadir, Velan. Kathiresan, Kandan, Vishaka, Mahasena. Mahasena means great warrior. So loads of names, Worship of Skanda is most popular in South Bharat, especially in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana, where he is usually called Murugan. Many of the major events in Murugan's life take place during his youth, and legends surrounding his birth are popular in Tamil Nadu and other places in South Bharat. This has encouraged the worship of Murugan as a child god, very similar to the worship of child Krishna in North Bharat. Kartikeya, or Murugan, is found as a primary deity in temples wherever communities of the Tamil people live worldwide, especially in the Tamil Nadu state of India, Sri Lanka, Mauritius, Indonesia, etc. The Arupadai Vedu are the 6 temples of Tamil Nadu that are dedicated to him, all having different reasons to worship him. Okay, so these are all the different names. Do you want to go?
Tirupparamkundram, Tiruvavinakundi, Palani, Tiruchendur, Tiruverakam, Swamimalai, Kundruthoradal, and Palamuttir Kolai.
Well done. Of these, the most famous is Tiruchendur. About 500,000 pilgrims flock there on the main festival day. Wow. He is found in other parts of India, sometimes as Skanda, but in a secondary role, along with Ganesh, Parvati, and Shiva. So sometimes we see the Shiv Parivar, including Ganesh, and also Kartikeya. Main festival is Skandas Shashti, literally the 6-day festival, and occurs shortly after Diwali. In West Bengal, Kartikeya is associated with the birth of children. He is worshipped on the last day of the month of Kartik, which is October, November. It has become a trend in Bengal that the clay model of the deity is kept at night before the day of worship, usually by friends, for the newly married couple before the door of their house. The deity is worshipped the next day in the evening and offered toys. The deity is also worshipped during Durga Puja festival in Bengal. Goddess Durga is accompanied by her 4 children, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Ganesh, and Kartikeya. Kartikeya is the youngest of them, visualized as a young man riding a peacock, wielding a bow and arrow. He is stated to be Kumar, that is a bachelor, as he is unmarried. So this is in Bengal or in Orissa. While Ganesh is paired with the rich Lakshmi, Kartikeya is paired with the learned Saraswati. So pastimes with Ganesh. One day, both Ganesh and his brother, younger brother, Kartikeya Skanda, were seated with their mother, Parvati, who was explaining to them about the mystery of the universe, how she was created by God, and how under God's command, she acts as universal Mother Shakti. She explained to them at great length that the 3 worlds represented her own body. When she had finished, the 2 brothers fell into an argument and challenged each other to a race around the entire universe. Kartikeya, who is the proud rider of a peacock, was fully convinced that he would beat his brother Ganesh, a rider of the mouse. So the elephant rides the mouse. He said to his brother, when you return, you will find me seated here near our mother after I have completed the ride through the 3 worlds. So Kartikeya flew off at breakneck speed on his peacock. Ganesh just smiled. Without stirring, he just remained seated when he was enjoying his mother's company. Parvati felt amused and asked him, why are you waiting? Are you not going to start? Yes, mother. Ganesh got up, prostrated himself before his mother Parvati, and then circumambulated his mother, did Pradikshana 3 times and quietly sat down near her. Kartikeya soon returned, panting but jubilant, convinced that he had beaten his brother by a very good margin. But his triumphant smile faded on his lips as he saw Ganesh sitting there so quietly. When Kartikeya asked his brother why he hadn't started, Ganesh calmly stated that he had finished the race long ago. Kartikeya was incredulous. He said, "Impossible. I didn't see you overtake me. My peacock had raced off so fast, and certainly your mouse can't reach that speed." "Yes, you're right, younger brother," Ganesh assented. "But don't you remember what our mother just told us, that her body represents the three worlds? So while you were riding through them, I went around our mother 3 times." Kartikeya hung his 6 heads and accepted defeat. It's a very nice pastime. Kartikeya is considered the most beautiful personality next to Cupid. If a person is very beautiful, he's compared with Kartikeya. He's also mentioned in Chaitanya Leela. In the accounts of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in front of the car during the Rath Yatra festival, Achyutananda's name is to be found many times. It is stated that in the party of Advaitacharya from Shantipur, Achyutananda was dancing and others were singing. At that time, the boy was only 6 years old. The Gaura Ganadesha Dipika, compiled by Sri Kavi Karnapur Purna, or Pur, has described Achyutananda as a disciple of Gadadhar Pandit and a great dear devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to the opinion of some, he was an incarnation of Kartikeya, the son of Lord Shiva. And according to others, he was formerly the gopi named Achyuta. The Gaura Ganadesh Dipika has supported both these opinions. So interesting. In Krishna Leela, during Krishna's pastime of fighting with the untouchable king who had attacked the city of Mathura, Krishna did not think it wise to kill him directly with his own hands. Still, the king had to be killed. Therefore, Krishna decided with fine discretion that he should flee from the battlefield so that the untouchable king would chase him. He then led the king to the mountain where Muchukund was sleeping, lying asleep. Muchukund had received a benediction from Kartikeya to the effect that when he awoke from his sleep, whomever he might see would at once be burnt to ashes. Therefore, Krishna thought it wise to lead the untouchable king to that cave so that the king's presence would awaken Muchukunda. He would be at once burnt to ashes. So Muchukunda had not slept for many, many years. He was engaged in the duty of fighting. And therefore, he was very tired. And he was fighting on behalf of the Devatas. He was fighting the demons on behalf of the Devatas. So when the Devatas offered a benediction, Muchukunda simply thought of sleeping. He just wanted to have a good sleep. He replied as follows: "My dear Kartikeya, best of the demigods, I want to sleep now. And I want from you the following benediction. Grant me the power to burn to ashes by my mere glance anyone who disturbs my sleeping and awakens me untimely. Please give me this benediction." So the Devatas agreed and also gave him the benediction that he would be able to take complete rest. Then King Muchukunda entered the cave of the mountain on the strength of the benediction of Kartikeya. Kalyavan was burnt into ashes simply by Muchukunda's glancing at him. So this is a very nice pastime from Krishna Leela. Banasur heard that the soldiers of the Yadu dynasty were attacking the whole city, tearing down various walls and gates in nearby gardens. Being very angry, he immediately ordered his soldiers, who were of equal caliber, to go and face them. So Lord Shiva was so kind to Banasur. So Banasur was a Shiv Bhakt, and he received a lot of benedictions from Lord Shiva, especially he received 1,000 arms. So Shiva was so kind to Banasur. He personally came as the commander of chief of the military force, assisted by his heroic sons Kartikeya and Ganapati. During Krishna's battle with Lord Shiva, Krishna's son Padumna was fighting fiercely with Kartikeya, the commander of the in chief of the demigods. Kartikeya was wounded by Padumna, and his body was bleeding profusely. In this condition, he left the battlefield and without fighting anymore, rode away on the back of his peacock carrier. So he shows the superior nature of Padumna. Padumna is also regarded to be incarnation of Krishna. Skanda Purana is one of the 18 Mahapurans, consisting of 81,000 verses. While the scripture is named Skanda, he does not. So Kartikeya does not feature either more or less prominently in this Purana than in other Shiv-related Puranas. The subjects covered are cosmology, pastimes, genealogy, dharma, festivals, gemology, temples, geography, discussion of virtues and evil, of theology, and of the nature and qualities of Shiva as the absolute and source of true knowledge. Kartikeya symbolizes a union of polarities. He is a handsome warrior and described as a celibate yogi in some places. He uses his creative martial abilities to lead any army against Taraka and the other demons, and is described as a warrior, a philosopher warrior. He is a uniter, campaigning the virtues of both Shaivism and Vaishnavism. So this is an idea of Kartikeya, so the 6 heads, and loads, 12 arms, 10 arms, 12 arms. So wanted to stop there. Any questions, any comments? Interesting Devata, especially his pastime of his birth. Very difficult to understand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, and all the deities. Just, I know I've heard the whole of the story. Before he was born, they said that, was he thrown in the river or in the rocks?
Effectively, he was transported by Agni, or the semen of Lord Shiva was transported by Agni through Ganga Mata. That's right.
And then
6 wives.
He was put, no, sorry, the womb was in the 6 parts. Is that right?
The semen was in 6 parts, and it was accepted by the 6 of the 7 rishis, Sapta rishis. So 6 of them accepted that semen and brought up children, and then they merged all of them. And that's why he's got 6 heads.
6 heads, yeah.
Yeah.
And the apasras, is it right? Apasras?
Apsaras.
Kartikeya's mother.
Kartikeya's mothers, they were the Saptarishis' wives. Yeah, 6 of them.
Right, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, as you was telling the story, to be honest with you, I heard the story.
Have you?
On God Shiva Sipuran, which was the serial was coming on the TV a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
See, I forgot the serial name, but in there, this story came that how Kartikeya was born, and Kartikeya has got like he's got everything. He's so strong because all the Rishi's wife asked that we want our son to be like clever, strong. He has got that much power that he can fight with anybody, but he will not die. Things like that, and all these Ashirvad was given to him, and he has been strong quite a lot. He fight with so many Rakshas.
That's right. That's right.
So I have heard the story. It was Devoka Mahadev. The serial was coming on the TV, but it's quite a long time ago now. So watch that serial, all of it. And every time when you say some stories from there, you just picturize it again.
Okay.
But it's very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So
Hare
we
Krishna.
stop
How
there.
I was yesterday? Sorry.
Oh yeah, yes, it was good. It was good.
Went very well, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it was